Okay. So the relationship between union and states can be of three categories. It can be legislative relations, then administrative relations, and financial relations. So the separation can be given article wise. So Article 245 to Article 255. It is the legislative relations, and Article 256 to 263. 256 to 263. It's the administrative relations, and 268 to 293. It is the financial relations. So going to the legislative relations, we have already discussed about three lists. So these lists contains subject matters. So subject matters means the topics based on which the policies are being made, or the topics based on which laws are being prepared. So we have categorized various subjects in various lists. So I hope you can give some examples. So anyone, please give some examples to fill the union list, state list, and concurrent list. ഫാത്തിമ സഹല ഓർമ്മയുണ്ടോ യൂണിയൻ ലിസ്റ്റിൽ എന്തൊക്കെയാണ് എക്സാമ്പിൾസ് തരാൻ പറ്റുക? എനി സബ്ജക്ട് മാറ്റർ? സൗരഭ്യ. So the subject matters include matters concerning with the union importance. I hope you understood during the last class. Jibin understood അല്ലേ? So എങ്ങനെയുള്ള ടോപ്പിക്സ് ആണ് യൂണിയൻ ലിസ്റ്റിൽ വരുന്നത്? Matters related to union importance. So just like the defense, external affairs, then matters related to war, then the policies regarding foreign affairs or foreign policies, then coinage and currency. Okay, so we are having Coinage and Paper Currency Act, and that is prepared by the Union Parliament. So there was a demonetization of currency some 3-4 years back. So it was also proclaimed by the union, and there was no role for the states. Examples they will ask in the exam. So with the examples they will ask, and they will ask you about your opinion in that subject. So you have to fill maximum points in your answer. So if you are speaking about the demonetization, they will ask you, is it possible for the union to proclaim a demonetization without the consent from the states? So what is your opinion? So is it possible for the union to proclaim the demonetization without asking the particular states? Okay, it is possible because the coinage and paper currency, that subject is falling in the union list. Okay, so definitely the union can make laws or policies in that subject without going to ask to the states. Okay, so that's a union list. So actually there are 19 items in this union list that you should understand, but you have to study the important items only. Okay, what about the state list? There are 61 items. The most importance are being agriculture, fisheries, mines and minerals, then the local self-government, public health, forest, etc. Okay, so all these are having regional significance, just like the forest will be situated within a region itself. So the union cannot make laws altogether. Okay, so what about the concurrent list? Concurrent list subjects can be handled both by the union and state, that we have discussed. So actually there are a total of 52 items listed in the constitution in the seventh schedule that you have discussed. So the items include the criminal law, then civil procedures, then so the what is the difference between this criminal and the civil procedure? So criminal procedures include the procedures related to the life of the individual, the just like giving of death penalty, then just like a murder. So everything will fall under the category of these criminal procedures, and the laws are being made uniformly for all the individuals regarding these criminal procedures. So there is no difference based on the religion or caste. Okay, so in the criminal subjects, there will not be differentiation. All the individuals are considered as equal while formulating the law. But what about the civil procedure? You may have heard about the acts, just like Hindu Marriage Act, and then the Divorce Act. There will be Christian Divorce Act, Muslim Divorce Act, Hindu Divorce Act. So all these are having uh, in consideration with some special categories only, just like some special religion. So the civil procedure is like that. So we cannot make laws same for both the religions. So in that situation, we will formulate different laws for different religions. That is the significance of this civil procedure. So both the civil procedure and criminal procedure falls under the category of concurrent list that you have to study. So then the port, okay, port you may be knowing. It's not airport, but it is the port which is situated in the sea. Okay, that is coming under the concurrent list. Then labor, welfare of the labor, then planning. So the planning can be social, economical, and political. Okay, so the social planning, then that include starting from the family planning. Okay, family planning you may have heard കുടുംബാസൂത്രണം എന്നൊക്കെ പറഞ്ഞിട്ട് പ്രോഗ്രാംസ് ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു അല്ലെ 1990s. So that deals with the number of children within the family. So we have to restrict the number, then only we can control the population. So such procedures, such policies will start both by the center and the state. So such subjects just like the family planning, then social planning, everything will fall under the category of concurrent list that we have discussed already during the last class. So in the exam, they may ask your opinion. So what is your opinion regarding the family planning? So will it be beneficial for a better social planning? They may ask. So you can state that the subject is a matter concern for the concurrent list. So both state and union can make laws. So you can give examples for some laws, and in that way you can proceed. So that is how you have to answer a question if it is asked in a application level. Okay, so what is this residuary power? I think we have discussed it. Just started the discussion of this residuary power. So residuary power means it is mentioned in Article 248. That is the first thing. So Article 248 it states that there are certain residuary powers which should be under the control of the parliament. So these words you should remember. So while you listen for the word residuary, your mind, the word parliament should come. So the parliament is having the authority to control the residuary powers. So what are these residuary powers we have discussed? So the subject matter is just like the information technology, then internet of things, artificial intelligence. So all these are new to the constitution. Okay, so the constitution which was formed during 1946 to 1949, that you know. But at that time, there was no such provisions. So the matters regarding the IT, then the internet, then about the film censorship, everything was there at the time of constitution, but it was not as it is today. So the subject matter cannot be categorized into union list, state list, or concurrent list. So at that time, it will fall in the residuary powers. So the parliament directly make laws in such subjects. So that is the significance of these residuary powers. So now, regarding the concurrent list, there is some extra points. So regarding this concurrent list, you may have certain doubts, just like if both the parliament and the state can make laws, then there will be definitely some clash in between the parliament and the state assemblies, because if parliament is going to make some laws and the assembly is also going to make some laws, so which law will prevail, which law will sustain? So that is a general doubt. So for that purpose we will study some points. So if that subject is of national importance, that means just like a subject is coming which is having some national importance, just like if a state, if a state like UP, okay, Uttar Pradesh, for example, it is making a law based on the subject present in the concurrent list, for example. So if that law affects about the foreign policy, because the state of Uttar Pradesh is sharing its boundary with some other countries, just like Nepal. Okay, so if that law is associated with the boundary issue, for example, suppose, so definitely it's a matter of national importance. Okay, even though the subject matter is associated with the state only, still it contains still it contains certain national importance. Okay, so at that time the parliament will prevail. So that is the concept. So if the subject contains some national importance, so even if it's a concurrent list, so the predominance will be for the parliament. So that is the first point. So in this way, we can avoid the clash in between the union and the states regarding the concurrent list. So the next concept. So that's the first concept. So what is the first concept? If the subject is having national importance, okay. So then who will be the higher authority? Parliament. Okay, national importance. And next thing, under the proclamation of emergency. Okay, so we will study in detail regarding this emergency during the coming classes. But now you should remember that if there is any emergency situation, so at that time the parliament will be having an upper hand. So that is the concept. So the parliament will have upper hand if there is an emergency situation regarding the concurrent list. So that is the next thing. So in this way, if there is any agreement in between the union and the state, so the subject matter is undergoing legislation. Okay, so at that time there can be some agreement in between the state and the union. So at that time the union may order the state to make the laws, because the parliament is not going to prepare the law. So the state should make the law. So in that way the parliament will agree with the state. So there can be such agreements in between the state and the union regarding the lawmaking. So in that way, we can avoid the clash in between the state and the union by making certain prior agreements in between the union and the state. So that is also a possibility. So I can write here as the agreement between union and the states. So these are the methods by which we can avoid the clash in between the union and the states while making laws regarding the concurrent list. Okay, agreement between union and the states. So next it can be based on Article 252. Okay, Article 252, it states that if the subject matter is associated with certain treaties, certain international treaties. So, what is this international treaties meaning? So, you may be reading in the newspapers that our prime minister is going to some other countries to sign some pacts. Pact means ഉടമ്പടികൾ എന്ന് കേട്ടില്ലേ അല്ലേ? അതായത് മറ്റ് രാജ്യങ്ങളുമായിട്ട് വിത്ത് സം അതർ ഫോറിൻ കൺട്രീസ് we may be making certain pacts or certain treaties. ട്രീറ്റി എന്ന് വെച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ കരാർ. നമ്മൾ കരാർ എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ട്രീറ്റിന്, അതുപോലെ പാക്ട് എന്ന് വെച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഉടമ്പടി അല്ലെ? സോ ഇഫ് that subject matter is coming under the category of these treaties, then definitely it will be legalized by the parliament only. For example, നമ്മൾ there was a Indo-Norwegian fisheries project in the Kollam district during 1953. So കൊല്ലത്ത് നമ്മുടെ നീണ്ടകര അവിടെ ഒരു ഇൻഡോ നോർവീജിയൻ ഫിഷറീസ് പ്രോജക്ട്, അതുപോലെ ഇൻഡോസ്യൂസ് ബ്രീഡിംഗ് പ്രോജക്ട് ദർ വാസ് ദർ ഇൻ ദ ഇടുക്കി മാട്ടുപ്പെട്ടി ദർ വാസ് ദിസ് പ്രോജക്ട് ഡ്യൂറിംഗ് ദ സെയിം ഇയർ 1953. Yes. So at that time it was some treaty with some other countries just like Switzerland, just like this Norwegia. So all these matters are coming in the state list. So you may be knowing the fisheries, then the breeding of cattle. So all these are concerned with the particular state only. Still, the union will make laws in such subjects because that's associated with these international treaties. So that is the example. So if so that is mentioned in the Article 252. So it states that if the subject matter is having certain treaties with some foreign countries, then it will fall in the hands of the union to make laws. So that is the concept. Now, finally, if there is any situation such a way that the state government is not capable of making laws, just like if the state government is trying to make law, then it will not get legalized due to some issues, just like some due to some issues regarding the majority, just like if the bill is introduced in the state assembly but certain members were not present, certain parties were boycotting that bill, or there is some calamities, there is some protests against that bill in the state. So definitely the bill cannot be converted into act due to this protest. So definitely the parliament will interpret, the parliament will interrupt. So what will happen? Definitely the parliament will make laws. So that will be the situation if there is any dispute or if there is any protest in the state assembly regarding that bill. So it will be the duty of the parliament to legalize that subject. So that is the common principles. It is not directly given in the constitution, but we can formulate these principles by reading the constitution. That is the significance. So they will ask if how to avoid the clash in between the union and the states, or how to distribute the power in between in the legislative relationship in various lists. Okay, so in this way we can avoid the clash. So that is a, so we are having certain principles in order to legalize the subject matters, just like the doctrine of occupied fields, doctrine of occupied fields. They may not ask you how for writing what is this doctrine of occupied fields. They definitely will not ask you, but you can add these points in your answer. if they ask an application level question. That is the significance. So this doctrine of occupied field states that if a subject is already occupied by the union, then the state cannot handle that subject. So if a particular subject is already legalized by the union, then the state government cannot be then the state government cannot make a laws in the same subject. Okay, so because the legalization is already over, the space is already occupied, so it cannot be reoccupied by the second authority. That is a significance. So what about the doctrine of repungency? Repungency, it states that if both the union and government, union and parliament, both are going to prepare a law regarding the same subject, then definitely it will be the parliament that prevails, because the parliament is having an upper hand always. So if both are going to make the same law, then definitely the legalization of the parliament will prevail, and the state assembly will postpone, or the state assembly will cancel its legalization. So that will what happen. So these principles you have to study. So in your answer, you can add these points if they ask. So that's all about the legislative powers. Now, what about this? Sorry, not the legislative powers, the legislative relations. Now, what about these administrative relations? So, today I have given an assignment to differentiate between the legislative powers and administrative powers. So, what is this administrative power? I have explained you. It is listed in the article 256 to 263. Okay, so the I have already stated that the part 11 deals with the relationship in between the union and the states. So in this part, they listed certain administrative relations in between the union and the state. So what is this administration, or who is that administrator? You may be the admins of some WhatsApp groups. So what is the duty of you in that WhatsApp group? So you will have certain special duties to control or authoritize the group. So that is the word. So by administration we means you will be the authority. So it is just like the bureaucrats in the democracy. So we have studied that we are having three pillars for the democracy, and it is the legislative, judiciary, and execution. So in this situation, the execution wing contains bureaucrats. Okay, so these bureaucrats can be categorized union wise and state wise. So you may have seen employees working under the union government and state government. So you just try to give me examples. So the employees working under railway, they are union employees. So the employees working in the post office, they are considered as union employees. So who will recruit them in that position? It will be the union government. It will be the union definitely. So they will conduct exams. So who will conduct exams and who will conduct the interviews? So there are certain bodies or there are certain authorities for that purpose, for recruiting employees. Just you may have heard about the All India services. So it is mentioned in Article 312. Okay, All India Services, Article 312. So under this All India Services article, there should be some evaluation, just like some written exam, then interview. It will be formed for various categories, just like Indian Administrative Service. Then, in the same way as IAS, you may have seen IPS, then IFS, Foreign Service. Okay, so various other services, just like Indian Engineering Service, Indian Forest Service. So various services will fall under the category of All India Services. So if you qualify these exams, then you can be an administrator under the union government, just like the district collector, then sub collector, then the chief secretaries, then the cabinet secretary. So all this will be IAS. So if you Google search, so who is the cabinet secretary in India, then who is the chief secretary in our state. So in that way, these secretaries will assist the ministers. So in all the ministries, there will be certain secretaries. So they will be having more knowledge, and they will be qualified with these exams. So definitely they can help the ministers, because the ministers are directly associated with the people. They may not have the technical knowledge to solve the problems. So the proper association of the secretaries and the ministers will serve the purpose. So that is the thing. So that you should study. So in the situation, there will be good quality employees. So they will be screened out by the All India Services. So that is the significance of these All India Services. So that is one category. And what about the other methods of recruitment? You may have heard about UPSC and SSC. So under UPSC, they will take employees in some higher order jobs, and in some lower order jobs, just like if they want a bulk quantity of employees for some lower level works. So it will be under the category of this SSC. So Staff Selection Commission. So you may have heard, or you may be associated with the notifications from these agencies, UPSC and SSC, regarding the conduct of exam, then interviews, everything. Okay, so by qualifying these exams, you can be the union employee. So what about the state? So in state also you can see the state PSCs. So we will study them in detail and during the same module. So it is just to make you understand the relationship, or the splitting of these authorities in the union and the state. So union, we are having these All India Services, UPSC, SSC, etc. And the state, it's the state PSCs. I can write SPSC or PSC. So here it's the Public Service Commission associated with a particular state. So it can be associated with more than one states also. For 2 or 3 states, there can be a common Public Service Commission. That's also possible. So they will conduct exams and interviews to recruit the employees within the state government employments. So, and we are having also certain employment exchanges. So they will give you the jobs based on your qualifications that you have registered. So you may have registered your name in the employment with your latest qualifications, so that they will call you if there is any vacancy in the category. Okay, so here we can see the administrative relation under certain topics, just like the grant in aids, grant in aids, and then All India Services. So everything is listed in the class note. You have to read it carefully. Then disputes regarding the interstate. So the All India Services we have just explained. So grant in aid means there will be certain provisions of financial support from the union to the state regarding some emergency situations. So we already discussed the governor will demand for a certain amount if they are in need. So at that time, the government will offer this amount. So this provision is known as grant in aid. So regarding this grant in aid, it comes under the administrative relation. So at that time, you can see there are some relationship in between the union and the states regarding the allowance of this amount. So that relationship comes under the category of grant in aids. And what about this river water? What about these disputes? It will mainly based on the boundary agreements. So boundary agreements, land agreements, then river water agreements. So you may have heard about the Kaveri river water dispute in between the Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. So in the same way, we are having issues with Tamil Nadu based on the river water, based on the Mullaperiyar Dam. So in such situations, there will be disputes in between the states. So there should be definitely certain tribunals to solve these issues. So the parliament will authorize certain groups and they will form or they will recruit certain people to formulate a authority to check the dispute, and the authority will consist of technical experts. So they will check the issue and they will advise the state governments to follow certain regards in order to solve that issue. So regarding the formulation of such authorities or the regarding the formulation of such councils. So such councils are known as interstate councils. Interstate councils. So there will be interstate councils regarding the so river water dispute comes under the category under the article 262 that you should remember 262 interstate river water dispute. So there will be certain interstate councils formed by the parliament in order to solve these issues. So we will discuss in details regarding the interstate councils during the coming classes. So now it's the time for you to give me the attendance. So just chat your name in the chat box. Abhijit, Aditya, Agas, Agil, Akshaya. Abhijit, Abhijit, last class absent. Abhijit absent. Yes. Agas, Agil, Akshaya. Okay, Abhijit present. Akshaya absent. Okay, Ananya,
Present,
Anushka.
present, sir. Message
Okay,
send ആവുന്നില്ല.
okay, okay. Anushka, Aisha, Devapriya, Fatima Sahala, Jinsha, Anaga, Rinsha. Okay, Rinsha. Okay. Gogul, Harikrishna, Jibin, Kishan, Krishna. Jibin ഉള്ളതാണല്ലോ അല്ലെ? കിഷൻ, കൃഷ്ണൻ. ഓക്കെ ഓക്കെ. കൃഷ്ണ എന്തോ? ഓക്കെ, പ്രസന്റ് അല്ല. മുഹമ്മദ് ആഷിഖ്, നന്ദന, പൂജ, പ്രത്യക്ഷ, സഫൽ. യെസ്. സോ സഞ്ജയ്, സാരംഗ്, സൗരഭ്യ, ഷബീബ. ഓക്കെ, കൃഷ്ണ എന്തോ പ്രസന്റ്. സാരംഗ്, സൗരഭ്യ, ഷബീബ. യെസ്. ഷാദിയ, ഷഹിൻഷ, ശില്പ. ഓക്കെ. സ്നേഹ, സൂര്യ, തുഷാര, വിഷ്ണു പ്രസാദ്. യെസ്. വിസ്മയ, വൈശാഖ്. Okay, so we will continue the session to 9:30. Okay, so we have stated that there shall be certain interstate councils in order to solve the disputes. So what these councils will do, they will inquire into the matters and they will advise the state governments to follow certain policies and they will also check if it is needed. Just like if there is some, for example, our Mullaperiyar Dam, you may have heard. So the water is utilized by the Tamil Nadu government. So the Tamil Nadu people for irrigation purpose. But it's a concern for Kerala regarding the safety of the dam. So we the people are in danger associated with the dam, but still the Tamil Nadu people are enjoying the water. So that was the situation at that time. So regarding that, there was an appointment of this interstate council. So what they did, they just came here and they conducted. So from IIT Roorkee. So at that time, the experts came here and they conducted dam break analysis and certain experiments within the dam. So they verdicted that there will not be any safety issue regarding the dam for Kerala because the dam is strong enough to withstand the increased level of water. So at that time, that was the verdict. So in that way, that issue solved. So because there was the appointment of this council with the experts. So that is what happened. So in the same way, the river water will always create such nuisance because always, not always, but most of the time, the rivers will be the boundaries for various states. So if you take the political map of India, then you can see, or you can associate it with the river water map. So at that time, you can see the river formulates the boundaries in between various states. So definitely there is a chance of dispute because the water resource from the river is always a matter of importance for both the states. So there should be the formulation of these interstate councils. So they will investigate and discuss the subject in detail with the states, and they will also correlate the union in this subject. So they will form as an intermediator in between the union and the states regarding these river water disputes. And in the same way, just like the river water dispute, there can be certain other disputes also, just like the boundary disputes. Then regarding the illegal migration from one place to another place in that way. So that's the significance of these interstate councils. Now, these are the important administrative relations. Now, it is the third type of relation, which is known as financial relations. So that is listed in Article 264 to 281. So the financial relations mainly deals with the taxation. Okay. So at that time, if you go to a hotel and you take some food, so the bill that you obtain at the end, so it will show you the state GST, SGST, and CGST, central GST. So what is the meaning of this? So so you are indirectly paying certain taxes both to the state and to the union. So the tax should be collected by either of the authority. It can be collected by the state or it can be collected by the union. So once it's collected, they will distribute the tax based on the proportion. So union government will get certain amount and the state government will get a certain other amount. So there is a splitting of the tax in between the union and the states. So that relation is known as the financial relation. So the relationship associated with the taxes, who will collect the class, sorry, who will collect the tax and who will distribute the tax and who will get how much. So that's the relationship. So that relationship we will discuss. So now I will give you some more detailed notes regarding this differences in between these relations. So at that time you can read it and you can see the video of the class and you can solve the assignment. So that's all. If you face any difficulty, just contact me. Okay, I hope we can wind up the session. So we will discuss in detail